So, because Georgia became a swing state this year, I followed Kyle Kalinski's voting advice from 2016, which is vote Democrat if you are if only if you're in a swing state. So I did vote for Joe Biden, but I would not die for Joe Biden. I'm not this sick of it. Apparently, and I sort of knew this was true. I just never heard it myself. There are people who would literally die for Trump. So a guy emotionally called into Rush Limbaugh um, show and cryingly said he would die for Trump. Take a look at this.
I'm going to try to hold myself together, not get emotional here, but I want to harken back to your statement about Georgia and about the Trump voter.
Yeah.
And they should be very afraid, very afraid. Trump and you are all we have left, Rush. We've spent our lives voting for these people because they're not them. And we just can't do it anymore. We're tired of being stabbed in the back, Rush. It's better to have an enemy that's in front of you than a friend that's behind you that's just going to stab you. They do it every time. We have a Republican-controlled state, and they won't do an audit of the vote. They won't. They just basically told every Georgian that they don't care. We were in Washington on Saturday. Me and my 33-year-old son, we saw more people than we've ever seen in our lifetime, ever. And we're season ticket holders for the Ravens, for God's sakes. I've been in crowds of 80,000 people. I've been to Steelers games, for goodness sakes. I have never seen so many people, but were there any Republicans there? No. None. None.
But wait. What? There were no What was this thing that you went to?
A week ago Saturday in Washington, D.C., the mega rally. There must have been hundreds of thousands.
Okay, it's a MAGA rally, and you mean no elected Republicans? Is that what you mean?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Our party leadership, quote unquote, if this were a Democrat rally, they would all be there. They were there for the anti-Tea Party movement, walking hand in hand up the steps.
Yep.
No one stands for us, Rush. Only you and Donald Trump. God forbid, what do we have left? I love my president. I am not die for my president. This man has given more to this country than anybody, and he has no need to. None. He's a billionaire. He doesn't need this.
Before we discuss the caller, I just want to say one thing, and I know this might sound dark, but Rush Limbaugh has cancer, and he said it's terminal. He cannot die yet. Not yet. He needs to live at least 2 more months. He needs to live, and he can live until January 21st, 2021. Until he cannot die, until he sees Donald Trump thrown out of the White House, Joe Biden sworn in, and because he's a pill-popping racist, I want him to live to see Kamala Harris. I don't like her, but I want Rush Limbaugh to see Kamala Harris, a half-black, half-Indian woman, sworn in as Vice President of the United States. Another non-white person, a woman, sworn in to one of the highest offices of the U.S. government. On that day, on January 21st, 2021, Satan may finally claim Rush Limbaugh. Now, that sounds dark and it sounds hateful, but you know what? Fuck him. Rush Limbaugh has done so much damage. He is such an evil man. I want him to suffer. Just 2 more months. Let this be his last. Now, I'm not threatening him. I'm just saying I'm actually wishing for him to live for 2 months. But on January 20th, but after January 20th, on that great day of deliverance, Satan can have him. He sold his soul long ago. All right, on to the caller. And to the caller, say what you will about Democrats and liberals, you might find one or two, but I have never heard anyone say they're willing to die for, say, Obama or Hillary or Biden. I'm a big Bernie fan, and I can't say I would die for Bernie, or whatever progressive comes next, whether it be Tulsi or Nina Turner or whoever. This is how far the cult is. Trump has rallied a cult. This is how far our country has fallen to where people are thinking that it's the end of the world. And the guys claiming that Trump and Rush Limbaugh fight for them, what has he done for you? Seriously, because I can name something that Bernie has done for me, and what Biden claims he's going to do for me that has improved my life, which is the $15 minimum wage at Amazon for Bernie. And Biden says, I hope he holds up to it. He says he's going to do executive order and make $15 minimum wage nationwide, and hopefully he ties it to inflation. But what has Trump done for these lower and just middle class for the poor and middle class people? What has he done? I mean, I bet they'll say, "Oh, he brought back jobs." No, he didn't. More jobs were outsourced in 4 years under Trump than Obama in 8 years. He kept our borders safe. So did Obama and Clinton. Bush certainly didn't, because not saying intentionally, but 19 hijackers came in and crashed planes into our building. So, and besides, you should do that anyway. You realize that Trump gave a tax cut in 2016 to the rich. Most of it went to the rich, 83%, and now the rich pay less in percentage in taxes than I do. Jeff Bezos pays less percentage in taxes than I do as one of his employees. And Rush Limbaugh serves those corporate elites because he's just a mouthpiece for right-wing nuts. Seriously, what has he done? I think what happened was, and I came with this thought independently. These people are still living in 2016, 2015. 2015 and 2016. They're all for what I've learned has been coined called the culture war, where it's not about anything substantive. It's not about politics. It's not about how something changes your life. They basically still think that pink-haired SJWs and Hollywood is just running around making white people and men feel bad for being white males and Christians. Now, those people still exist. Anita Sarkeesian is still out there complaining about boob armor on The Mandalorian, and people attacking Gal Gadot for playing Cleopatra. I made a video about that. They do exist. They still exist, and they're just as annoying as they are, but they're not as prominent. The reign of the Hollywood-esque pink-haired college kid SJWs was like 2014 to 2017. As 2018 came around, they started to be less and less. They're still around because there's the people attacking Gal Gadot for playing Cleopatra because of her skin tone, even though Cleopatra was a white Macedonian. I've done a video about that, and then Mia Sarkeesian a couple days ago or two uh, complained about the armor configuring to women's breasts in the Mandalorian, boob armor, but they're not as you know they're not the ones breaking the headlines. Trump became the more unhinged, triggered snowflake as people started turning against him and trying to hold him accountable and just going off the fucking rails. And right wingers claiming that if Trump gets impeached, they're going to start a civil war. If Trump loses the election, they're going to start a civil war. It's just It's the culture war. They're still living in 2015. They think that there are still people on a massive scale going around telling people, apologize for this, microaggressions, safe spaces. Look, those people still exist, but they're not as white. They're not as I keep saying this word, prominent. They're not on the news except for right-wing partisans who only bash the left. That's why I sort of stopped listening to some right wingers. I still listen to one or two to get both sides' perspective, but this is cult level. You know, And this guy is right about one thing. Republican elected Republicans aren't speaking out against it, except maybe one or two, because most of them don't want to piss off the base, but they also don't want to, for once, they don't want to encourage Trump's narcissism. They know he's lost. Mitt Romney and Chris Christie will speak out against them, saying, "Hey, dude, you need to concede." So there's going to be a civil war between the decorum humping, the polite society Mitt Romney wing of the party, and then there's going to be the Donald Trump, the fascists, the just the racist, openly racist, sexist, and blah blah blah. Just like there's a civil war between us, the Democrats, between the conservative, moderate centrists, and those true lefty progressives. There's going to be a civil war. Hopefully not bloody, but it's going to be just the same as ours. I don't know if I've asked this, but I want to ask once again. What has Trump done for any one of you? Seriously. What has he done? He gave tax cuts to the rich with his 2017 bill that lowered corporate tax rates to the point where CEOs and rich people pay less percentage in taxes than you do. He let he let 250,000 Americans die just so because he thinks COVID hoax is real. He thinks everything's about him. He thinks COVID was created to hurt him. And he didn't want to spook the stock market. That's why he lied. Like, the stock market was going to tank anyway. Even if he had literally done everything. Even if he had universal mask, universal gloves, nationalized the wages, and other things and stimulus, everything he should have done, there still would have been deaths. There still would have been a bad economy, because not only the pandemic, also with the Great Recession, which we haven't recovered from except Wall Street, and now we have a second Great Depression. Germany did all those things, and they only have 3% unemployment. We have 20% because basically our government says, poor people and middle class people, you are on your own. We will bail out the rich, but poor people, you're on your own. We have socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for the poor. Every man for himself if you make under $400,000 a year. Yeah. But seriously, what has he done for you? What has he done? Seriously, someone let me know. It makes you proud of your country. Okay, that doesn't put food on the table. I would rather have someone who doesn't make me feel so proud of my country, but he gives me health care, gives me better wages, who actually improves my life, just not give me good feelings. This is the same party that says, "Oh, facts don't care about your feelings," but they love to support candidates who make them feel good. Because Donald Trump hates the same people they hate: the Hollywood, the liberals, the elites, or the liberal elites, and the pink-haired college kids. They hate them, and that's all that matters. As long as you hate the people I hate, I don't care what damage you do to this country. This caller is what I call a too far gone guy. They're too far gone. There is literally nothing that Trump could do that would make them turn against him. You could literally show them a video of child murdering a child live on television. A video of Trump murdering a child live on television, and they would say he was killing the Antichrist. And Rush Limbaugh has sold his soul, and there's nothing, as long as he continues the whole Republican Party good, Democrat Party bad, just a partisan bullshit, they will never turn on him. This guy needs help. Maybe after 4 years, this caller will be like, well, I can't believe I fell for Trump's bullshit. Now, a lot of boomers will never admit it, because culturally, boomers, not all, but a lot of boomers, have this inability to admit they were wrong about anything, especially ideology. Trump certainly can't admit he's wrong about anything. Guy can't even admit that he misspoke a guy's name. Can't remember what it was, but it's like 2018. He just defended how he pronounced it. It's like, dude, can't even admit that he misspoke. Um, because to him, in his mind, he's perfect, or at least he tries to convince himself he's perfect. But there's still going to be I wouldn't be surprised. Like, you remember that at the Trump inauguration, that the woman with the glasses and the beanie that screamed no, that right wingers memed the fuck, and rightfully so. They memed the fuck out of her. There's going to be someone at the inauguration at Joe Biden, maskless, doing some bullshit. Mark my words. And I don't like drinking, but I will drink a shot for every one who does that at the Joe Biden inauguration. And by the way, also the Trump uninformed how do you say it? Not formally conceded by allowing the transition process, which I'll that's $6.5 million to be transferred to the to the Biden transition. Now I don't know about the classified information meetings, but he's finally informally conceding the election. God, I need to go back to school and learn words. But let's pray. If you're a religious type, pray for these people to finally see the errors of their ways. And also, even if they don't, just accept this. We had to accept that Trump was going to be president for 4 years ago. We had to accept it in 2016. We cried, and they mocked us, say, accept it, snowflakes. But now it's our turn to laugh at them. And I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, let's not laugh at them. Nope, nope, nope. Fuck them. Laugh at them. Point at their face. Unless it's your relatives, don't go there. But just random people on the street. Like, every time after the election, I see someone with a Trump flag or Trump sticker or Trump sign in their yard, I just can't stop laughing. I'm tempted, if I go to Walmart one day, and I see a guy pull in with Trump flag, as soon as he goes into the Walmart, I'm gonna hang back for a second, and then with the Biden hat my friend got me, be like, take a photo with it, like, who the who? Do a Jim Carrey. So yeah, everyone, stay out there, stay progressive, and may the force be with you.